Hey VV Nation, I'm Glenn.
And I'm Ryan. We've got a special event coming next month, May 1st. We're finally hitting the road. Now, we will be hosting some live streams. Tell them a little bit about the live streams we'll be doing.
We're going to have the Stock Analysis Power Hour. Ryan will host that. Bring your stocks. Let Ryan break them down for you. I'll also do a live stream called Trending Thursday. That's where we go through, look at what's going on in the market, what's going on in the news, and we analyze stocks. We also have a live presentation for those people who will be attending live as well. What's that, Ryan?
Now, we do have the presentation titled Unlocking the Secrets of Financial Success. Now, to register for free and get the details, just go to VectorVest.com/roadshow.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Afternoon Market Action. My name is Glenn.
My name is Ryan.
And we're going to be your host for about the next hour or so in regards to what's going on in the market. And as you know, there's always something going on in the market. By the way, if you can hear us loud and clear, please let us know in the chat, preferably with VV Nation, to let us know that we are coming across loud and clear, so I can clearly see what's going on as far as the chat and how many people are here. Stacy is on vacation. Where are you at, Stacy?
Oh, you're watching us on vacation?
Yeah,
nice.
Listen, I watched us while we was on vacation.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean,
watched you.
But in today's volatile market, you kind of got to.
I agree
with that. If you got
that.
money in the market, I'd watch it too.
So we got, 126 people here? There we go. All right, so it seems like the alert went out. Finally, Joey did it the right way. Stacy said Stacy says VV Nation, not vacation. I was getting all excited for you, Stacy, that you were somewhere. Loud and clear. Lawson Clear from Texas.
It's supposed to be Lawson Clear?
Maybe, hey.
No alert? Akshaya says no alert?
I evidently the alert must have hit because I see how many people are here. All right, so Akshaya is going, I don't know, Akshaya is going against me. Everything that I say right now, I don't know what it is, but I love, you know something, have you ever been to the Villages?
In Florida?
Yeah.
I have not.
I have not either.
You'll be there soon.
You think so? Wow. It took me a second to catch that. Wow. It took me a second to catch that. I was like, where am I going?
If you don't know, Villages is a retirement community, right?
They got a lot of money.
Yeah, I hear it's really nice too. I mean, that's
really nice too.
If you're going to retire, that's not a bad place to be.
I want to retire in Hawaii, or I want to.
Oh, you've been nonstop Hawaii since you got
I want to
back.
retire in Kentucky.
Well, you better hope Palantir goes to the moon if you're trying to move to Hawaii.
Tennessee. I want to retire in Tennessee. Hoorah, that's right, Marvin. But I do want to go to Glenn. I love you, bro. I don't know much lately, Akshaya. I don't know. I don't know if
you're not feeling the love.
I don't feel the love. Akshaya is just. I met Akshaya, so we've met, we've talked and all that kind of. Oh, talk about meeting people. As Joey just showed the video, next week Ryan and I will be part of a roadshow that's going to kick off May 1st in Charlotte. A lot of people are signing up. That's a great thing.
I saw over like 120 registrants.
Yep. And then we've got a few people who signed up for the VIP session.
Correct.
So again, it's out there. Go to www.vectorvest.com/roadshow. Support it. Come out, especially if you're in the Charlotte area. We'd love to meet you. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of great information, but it's going to be a lot of fun to be able to meet many of you face to face, shake your hands, talk to you. During the VIP session, man, I'm going to let my hair down. I only got about that much of it, but I'm going to let my hair down and we're going to talk about some stuff.
It's more than what I got up here.
Well, that's true. We're going to talk about some stuff, so I just want you, if you can make it in your schedule to come out, please, please, please do. If this works out well and does well, we'll take the Roadshow on the road, and we will start traveling around the United States. But you got to show love for this one first before we can get to do that. And that way we get to come out closer to you, where you are, no matter where you are in the United States. All right? So, with that being said, go ahead.
I was just saying, Monday, we've got the sommelier coming on your live stream,
that's right.
From Jarvis Vineyard.
A sommelier.
Sommelier, is that what's I pronounce?
Is she one of
I
those?
should know. She's my sister.
There's only a certain amount of...
No, she's official. Yeah, she's really high up in the... Yeah, she's real deal. She's like level 2 domestic, level 1 international.
Wow.
Like, she...
That's real stuff.
That's her job. She gets paid to travel the country and talk about wine. So she knows what she's talking about.
I get paid to tell people about the stock.
Palantir?
Yeah, and Palantir.
And a poopy market?
And X-Roth.
Could
I be really talking about X-Roth? Woo!
So yesterday, because I was looking at resistance, about 14 cents. Next level, I think it's up 18, 20 cents. But anyway, so I put my entire employee content portfolio in.
I'll tell you about it. I told you. You probably did you get it?
I broke the rule though.
You did.
You had to have at least $1. I forgot about that rule. It would have worked out pretty well because I was up like quite a bit.
Yeah.
Don't you have to use trading systems? Can you just buy random stocks?
You can buy random stocks.
Yeah, I don't think you have to use a trading system.
You can buy random stocks.
Yeah, here at VectorVest we do like just a friendly employee contest portfolio.
But
just
we
paper
get money.
But yeah, we do get paid monthly if we beat the S&P, and then at the year, first place, I think first and second get a little.
I think everybody who made money in the portfolio makes some money. So, you know, when Ryan and I are here talking about the market and all that kind of stuff, guess what, folks? We are really trading the market. I tell you about the stuff that I hold. We do have a portfolio competition internally for all of the VectorVest subscribers. VectorVest does pay us money if we make money in those portfolios. So, you know, we don't just talk about it. We try very hard to be about it. All right. So, USAR is a tough play. I like UAMY better, a little bit more solid than USAR. But I do have something that I'm working on a lot of different aspects of rare earth metals. So something I'm looking into.
Okay.
There's
a nice trend line that I saw USAR have some buying pressure, bottom wick right at that trend line.
But it got killed.
It did get killed. It's overvalued. The value is actually on the decline, while UAMY, the value is on the rise, not as overvalued. But yeah, definitely, you know, check out both those rare earth minerals. I did a video last week on it, and I'm definitely looking forward to what you got to say going forward.
All right. So let's get into the homepage of the software. Why is this market moving? Oh, Sugarfoot. Why is this market moving up today? All right. So we're going to talk about it. A couple of things are going on. I have them as far as market info, what's moving on. But we got two green lights in the color guard price column right now. A lot of yellow. So we got all three colors. Right now, the market is looking for a true direction. Today, we got more bullish. Over the past few days, we've had more bearish, but we got more yellow than anything. So Glenn has to pay for VectorVest for his portfolio? Nah, John. No. To answer your question, no. Pedro says just news. Well, it sort of kind of is just news. And again, when we get into the stories, my first two stories specifically talk about what's making this market move. But the primary wave is up now for 2 days in a row. The DEW is about to possibly turn up. The confirmed call, the slowest, most conservative timing signal, is still down. All right, still not up just quite yet. But news, all right? Let's talk about the news. Let's talk about news, baby. Let's talk about news. So here we go. First piece. White House said to consider cutting China tariffs to de-escalate the trade war.
Well, that'll cause the market to go up.
Absolutely. One of the primers that I was looking for.
But you know, we already know how this is going to play out. There's going to be a correspondent from the White House that says, no, that's not true. And then 2 days later,
I don't know if this is going to be a not true thing. I think that right now, I was looking at the presidential approval rating down to 37%. And the majority of it is because of the trade war. I don't think he's stupid enough to not see the writing on the wall and say, yo, I got to do something about this. The big news is China. What are we going to do? Consider cutting China tariffs to de-escalate the trade war. All right.
Also, de-escalating the tensions between him and Jerome Powell is a.
Well,
we'll put faith back into the market.
That is the next story in regards
Because I do not agree with Trump when
I don't
he's
either.
asking for the rate cuts. Now it's
For what reason? And you know, the Fed knows what he's doing in regards to the economy.
because the tariff price shock hasn't even happened yet.
Right.
And if we try to lower an interest rate cut,
And
it's
we
going to be
get a
COVID all over
rise
again. Rise in demand, supply cut, same COVID. No. Trump, no. I beg to differ on that one.
So there's a difference. Here's the other story. The NASDAQ surges 4%, S&P and Dow jump, as well as Trump says no intention to axe the Fed chair.
Okay.
Two big news stories that are moving the market. Pedro says just news. In this case, Pedro, I got to disagree with the just news. I think that this brings the temperature down in regards to the ambiguity, in regards to the uncertainty.
I love the way you put that.
What?
Bring the temperature down.
And, you know, it's still hot and heavy. It's still hot and heavy, but this is probably a little bit of a reprieve for the market that's been beaten down because of the uncertainty. All right, so I think that if the administration can stay the course and stay off of Powell's behind, I think that the market has legs to go up. There's a third thing that I think is pushing the market, and I think we might disagree just a little bit on it. But I think that, you know, it's hard to bet against Tesla, and I think that with Elon Musk, who's taken a lot of hit because of being a part of the government, stepping back from Doge is a big thing that's helping to push Tesla up. Now,
Yeah, that was the most positive thing I heard in the earnings call yesterday.
That's all he had to say.
He's coming back to the office.
And he knows that he needed to.
Yeah.
So three things that are pushing the market higher. If they stay the course, the market may have legs to run up a little bit because the market's been so beaten down. All right, so that's what's moving the market. We can only see Trump can't fire Powell. I think we all know that, John, but I think it was just a lot of talk. And the markets didn't like it. All right, and the markets didn't like it, and I think he felt that he had to back off.
Didn't Powell start under Trump 1?
Yes.
Okay.
So no matter what you think about the president.
No, I'm not saying that, but he started under Trump 1.
Right.
I thought that was
and
the
now
case.
Because he wasn't doing what he wanted him to do, he got all antsy and all uppity.
It's probably so. When would be the next time that we could get another Fed chair?
It's next year.
It's next year?
He's good until next year. So I'm pushing
What was it, 8-year terms? Is that what it is?
It's whatever from the time he started to the time he ends. So I don't know what to do.
What are you doing there? What's going on?
I was trying to make my keyboard go up, but it's missing one of the
We should
pieces.
do a sword fight one day.
With the key. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Glenn agreed on the Musk news. So those are the things that I think, ooh, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, imagine him saying that he was going to keep doing Doge for a little bit longer or didn't put in the commentary of him coming back. I mean, Tesla would have been a different story today, I feel like.
I agree.
Because the revenue down, net income, shot down quite a bit. We'll see. Y'all aren't Navy. No, stop.
Wow, that's true. I'm a Marine. He's a civilian. He's just a civilian.
I'm a peasant.
I ain't gonna call you a peasant. Well, I might call you a peasant, but he's just a civilian. All right, let's get into our stories. Mine, you know how I am on the defense side. Lockheed Martin upgraded to outperform by Baird. Because we spent a lot of time on the first two stories, I just pretty much want to go over the headlines of mine. Ryan is probably going to give a dissertation on all of his stories, but I just want to go over, I just want to give the headlines from my stories. All right, so let's go to the next story. I'm still big on
defense. I think it's the way to go. And I think American companies are going to benefit from the buildup in Europe that we're seeing.
That's correct, because now we don't have to put nearly as much to help protect everybody else.
Not just Europe, but also our other allies, like South Korea ramping it up, Japan ramping it up,
because
Australia.
of China.
Yeah.
All right, and then you look over further into Europe, all of the European allies are doing the same thing. All right, so next story.
So
Here's your dissertation. Go ahead. You can spend about 15, 20 minutes on this. Go ahead.
Meta, right?
Right.
Good stock in my opinion. Obviously, with market uncertainty, marketing budgets are going to be affected across the board, right? Well, they got pretty smart here. So just like they did on Instagram, the short content, the threads, they're going to add advertising. So this will give them a leg up to new advertising dollars. I think that's pretty smart.
Do you have Threads?
Yeah, I have Microsoft or Facebook Threads or Meta Threads.
I don't have Threads. My daughter keeps trying to get me to get onto Threads. I don't know. I don't want to.
It's just like Instagram, kind of.
I don't want it. I got Instagram. I don't have TikTok.
I don't use it a whole lot, but I just think it's a good revenue to make up for lost dollars when it comes to their marketing budgets in this uncertainty market. But we'll see how it plays out.
All right. Next story is my Tesla story. Tesla gains after bulls get re-energized with Elon Musk focus back on the autonomy and AI. Couple of other stories. I didn't want to add more to the stories. I put enough stories up here. But he's going to start pushing out the autonomous driving. It was only going to be in Austin, Texas. It's going to be in 6 other states. He's going to push it to get into 6 other states. The robots, he's thinking of trying to, by the end of the year, end of next year.
There's like a couple in manufacturing, right?
As far as what?
Like the robots. There's a couple, not many,
But he's trying to get to a number of 1 million robots a year.
Well, once they start working,
1 million robots a year.
They'll build them.
I don't know if I want a robot on my house. It'd be like, hello, Master Glenn. Welcome home. I'd be like, yeah.
It's got a nice ring to it, though, doesn't it?
You'd be like, I come walking in, would you like some Cafe Bustelo? Yes, robot, I would. My name is not Robot. My name is Jerome. I mean, and as soon as he says that, he's out of my house. As soon as he come up and says, my name's not Robot. My name's Jerome. I'll be like, yo, you gone.
Go.
You cannot make me go. Yes, I can. And he's out of there. He's out of there. All right, so it's not just, and even when I talked about Tesla a while ago, Tesla is not just a car company.
Far from it.
So
and
much,
it's not valued at just a car company.
It is not. And the thing is that it's tough to bet against Elon. And if he's starting to get back into the captain seat in Tesla, I did in my video last night about, y'all didn't watch last night's video as much as I thought you should have. Man, that's Slate Auto. If you haven't heard about it yet, you need to go watch last night's video. But anyway, Tesla was in that. I gave a price target based on a descending triangle pennant, however you want to look at it.
It was like $440.
$440. So I am going to keep my eyes on TSLL. I don't want to go buy Teslas. Too much money.
I think any real rally with Tesla, we can just jump right to my story, is the autonomous driving is one thing, but I think it's the robots and the manufacturing and the applications of the robots that really has the justification to propel Tesla to new highs. You can see my article on here. It popped this morning, but look at this. A 20% year-over-year drop in automotive revenue and 71% decline in net income.
So do you think it rebounds from this based upon what the market's bullish feel is and what the potential of Tesla is? Do you think they overcome that? I say yes. I'm going to answer the question. I say yes.
I say yes. I think they will overcome it. But again, the justification for the price of Tesla is not in the cars. I mean, the autonomous, it can have,
robots.
But it's robots. I mean, it's the technology of the future. Autonomous driving, especially, 18-wheelers, that'll be a game changer.
That's going to be huge. It's going to put a lot of people out of work. But you know something? Now these trucks can drive straight to a location from coast to coast. That could be huge.
So we'll see. But again, I see the autonomous driving and the robotics going forward. Even if these the revenue numbers and the automobiles, even if they don't propel to new highs, but even if they just stay stagnant, the damage is done. Just the stock is way overpriced for a car company.
Gotcha.
So we've got to see these other projects come to fruition. And he's running out of time because now there's more and more competition. I mean, some of these projects he promised years ago, and we have not gotten them yet.
I'm going to go back to Slate Auto. Slate Auto is just in the beginning. It's an upstart, so it doesn't even trade. But again, if you have not watched last night's video, it's almost breaking news. We might be a week behind, but it's almost breaking news on this company that could actually challenge Tesla. So,
and their big event, our news break, is going to be Thursday, right? On Slate.
It happens when Tesla already gave out this earnings, right?
Okay.
So it was interesting how I did this story yesterday or last night, just before Tesla earnings came out. It was kind of interesting. All right, next story.
Boeing
shares rise on narrower loss. Interesting. So They missed. But they missed by less money than they were supposed to miss by.
And the stock
That's a positive sign? I don't know. But the big thing for Boeing is that they got the contract for the F-47. That's big.
Yeah.
That's the NGAD, Next Generation Air Dominance plane. They got the contract.
I'm sure
That's
the government's
huge.
putting billions of dollars into that project.
I think the contract was for like $47 million. Of course, you know that's going to go up.
Yeah.
You know that's going to go up. And that's just getting into the... And a lot of people feel that the plane is already created. The plane is already flying. The plane is already being tested. As I look on YouTube, I look at the stories, the plane may already be in effect, and they just need to perfect it. And we could be the first one with the next... what was it, Gen 6? I don't even think China has a Gen 6 plane or Russia has a Gen 6 plane. I think everybody's right now working off the Gen 5. Gen 5 for us is the F-22, the F-35s. I don't even know if, probably the bomber, not the Lancer, but the B-2. I'm thinking that all of those might be 5th generation. We might be the first country to come out with the next generation or NGAD. So Boeing's got that contract. It's going to be huge for Boeing. All right?
And that comes down to a defense play as well, Boeing.
I'm loving
Because it's not
defense.
going to, the commercial side's still hurting, especially with China returning their planes.
So you know who's picking up a lot of that?
Who?
Airbus.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Airbus going
Airbus
into
is picking
business.
up. I got a story on that as well. All right, next story. What is that?
Oh, hit.
I'm trying to hit the don't allow. I can't. There it is. Don't allow. All right.
So I thought this was interesting, having to do with Tesla as well. Rare earths, again, if you're not familiar with rare earths, critical minerals, the last 100 years it's all been about silver, gold, oil. That was the revolution.
Main commodities.
The commodities. Going forward with the rise of semiconductors and futuristic technologies, the game has changed,
Okay.
right? These minerals here, you can see right here, Beijing, China, which owns like over 90% of the market right here, restricted exports on 7 key rare earth elements critical to EVs, defense systems, and clean energies. Automakers and defense firms face potential shortages with no domestic heavy rare earth separation capacity and a shuttered alternative facility in Vietnam. The U.S. is highly dependent on Chinese supply. And not only is China refusing to give us processed rare earths, critical minerals, that thing, but now they are shutting down the technology needed. We can't even get that technology to make up our own plants right now. So we'll see how this plays out, but ultimately I think this is going to put pressure on the supply chain when it comes to defense industry and EVs, really just semiconductors, things of that nature.
I want to highlight some of this stuff. What does that say?
Yeah, Bill, China's restriction, I mean, that's one of their biggest ace up their sleeves right now, is the rare earths and critical minerals.
Google alerts. Let's go. I created something here called rare earth, and there was a few different articles in here. PQR, rare earth metals. Several stories. Elon Musk in regards to how it's affecting him. American resources.
I wouldn't be surprised if Elon got into the rare earth business.
Doing what?
Well, he's always taken pride on having the entire supply chain under control.
But if we can't, what is he going to do? He's going to go find a mine?
Invest in them. Or you could invest in the coal ash that we talked about?
That was a good story. If you hadn't watched that story, all of the coal ash
Has rare earths in it, and apparently
How
there's
much?
like millions of tons, like enough to get us off Chinese.
And if that's the
dependence.
case, that could be huge.
Yeah.
And we could say to China, fool around and find out. That's right. We could tell to China, when it comes down to rare earth metals, fool around and find out. If we can do that through the coal ash, that would be amazing.
These rare earths do a lot, like antimony. One of the main applications for defense purposes with antimony, night vision. Not just night vision for personal use, but also for cameras on drones.
Have you ever put on night vision?
I have. It's
Those
been a
are
while.
cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Those are,
It was
you
pretty
know, you know what? One of the best things for night vision, you don't want a light source, but when you're in an open field and you're holding down an open field, people can run across in the military. watching the sun. I was watching the moon. The moon is so freaking bright at
Yes, it
night
is.
that it's almost like looking out into a field and it's day, and all of a sudden you see a Marine running across the field. You go, you're doing exercise, and you go.
Yeah, Akshay, you mentioned rare earths in Ukraine. We've heard Trump talk about several different countries, but Canada, Greenland, Ukraine. I don't think he took the best approach in negotiating with those countries. But yeah, those countries have large amounts of reserves with rare earths, and we definitely need to work with our allies to make sure we, have that supply chain.
Problem
going
is,
forward.
we're trying to make a deal with that, and a sovereign country is like, oh, you're trying to put. I'm not feeling it, getting it from Ukraine just quite yet.
I wouldn't want to put all our eggs
Right.
in one basket in Ukraine, which is right next to Russia.
Absolutely.
I think.
But if we do put our eggs in the basket, I think Russia would think twice about wanting to come back into Ukraine again if they squash all of this.
Because that would.
Because then we got a vested interest in
We've
Ukraine.
got a lot of invested interest, and
So
for defense applications.
It'd
at
be
that.
very interesting. And I think that Russia's trying not to make that happen. But Ukraine's going to have to give up a lot. They're going to have to give up a lot to make that deal.
I haven't really caught up with what's going on with Ukraine, like at least the last week or two. I know it changes quite a bit. That's one of the biggest bargaining chips to bring, the Trump administration to the table is, hey, you can have access to our rare earths, and essentially you just defend us and help us out. I mean, that's the deal.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
It'd be like,
Let's be honest.
Come on, big bro. I'll give you my lunch money if you hook me up. That's sort of like what this is.
Oh,
I give you
man.
my lunch money. I'm going to tell mom, or I'm going to tell mom if you don't, yeah. All right, so let's go to the next story. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just looking at Mukesh's comment here. I heard the U.S. is dealing with India for the refinement of rare earths. That's interesting. I have not heard that directly, but I'll definitely take a look at that.
I have heard that we're behind the scenes trying to get a lot more business into India to pull it out of China. Yep. So I think that that's a good thing. I am looking more into that. I did talk about on the live Monday that we are trying to pull stuff out of China and do it into India. And then somebody said, well, India is doing a lot of work with China. Maybe if we get more investment in China, maybe India pulls away from China. I don't know. I mean, in India, maybe they pull away from China. All right.
Because historically, India and China are not good allies.
Well, it's all about the money.
Yeah, they're both all about the money.
It's all about the money.
It's all about the money.
Like, yeah, I'll take your money. I may not like you, but I'll take your money.
They definitely will.
All right.
Bill says, ditto, already trimmed my gold play significantly. And I'm not surprised gold take a little bit hit today because obviously it's been a risk on investment. And when I saw the break in the downward trend line of the Qs this morning, I kind of knew money would probably flow out of gold back into tech a little bit. Maybe that's what we're seeing. Definitely trade the chart, not your heart. But I don't think the gold run is over by any means.
And Steve Chappell is of the other mindset. He thinks that gold for right now is done. In the Jockey Club, we got out of all of our gold. I did pick up a stock yesterday, NG. We made about 10% on it, cut it off. So we made some money on gold, but I don't know. I don't know if it's still right now. If the market starts going up, then maybe people are not going to it from a safety perspective.
Well, yeah, if the market
was
rallied,
going to,
because we saw news of de-escalation with tensions with China and the U.S. We see news about the Federal Reserve.
Right.
Those are type of items that put pressure on gold. So now that, like you said, bringing the temperature down,
gold may be cooling down a little bit.
Cooling down as well.
So be careful if you do still own gold. All right, Saudi Arabia orders 10 wide-body planes from Airbus.
Wide-body planes.
Wide-body planes. I like them wide bodies.
Wide bodies.
I like them wide bodies. Ooh-wee.
Airbus.
Anyway.
From Airbus.
I like them wide bodies. As Boeing is getting the kibosh from China, Saudi Arabia is picking up. They could have gone to Boeing, but they went to Airbus. These are two of the biggest supplier of commercial airliners. So keep your eyes on Airbus as well. I think we got one more story. It's my story too. Discover why quantum, no, maybe not a soaring today.
This one's mine. You got a quantum story too?
I do not. But I put based on quantum, I did put, because I did a short.
Yeah, I saw that.
I did a short and I added another stock.
And because you're short,
Yeah.
quantum was on my radar.
Okay.
And I actually came up with a new stock. Have you heard of this one, Tempest AI?
Yes,
TEM?
we talked about it in the Jockey Club.
Oh, okay.
So we have talked about it, and we were looking at it and did like it.
They've got a contract. What was it? Like,
I don't know.
hold on.
It's your story.
$200 million in data licensing and model development fees for its role in the partnership, bolstering its balance sheet. This is going to be a deal with AstraZeneca. So again,
Drugs.
Drugs is going to be a huge avenue for these quantum companies because of the large models needed for some of these studies. So TEM, put it on your radar. We're going to take a look at some of the quantum stocks in the software in just a moment.
All right, and
But that's big, $200 million contract.
so and my story was on IOMQ. I think it was a short-term play, but I also put in, no, it was on Rigetti.
Okay.
It was on Rigetti, and then I saw another story on IOMQ, and I put that in my list as well. I just didn't want to put way too many. Look at that. We're right at 231. High five.
Yeah,
High
perfect.
five.
Perfect.
We said, whatever. All right, so.
I want to talk about these industries
Go
real
ahead.
quick, right? Because now, look at this. Foreign, still up today, right? We're seeing food, a little mixed here. Foreign up.
Was anything up 1%? There it is. Retail, go down. Retail, discount, variety. That's the
Okay.
only thing that's up 1%.
Probably what, like Costco, Dollar General, and that kind of stuff?
Maybe. Right click.
Let's go see. Use stocks and industry group.
Let's go see what's in there. But that's the only.
Ollie's, Dollar Tree. Okay, I had a feeling Dollar General's
Ollie's,
been hot.
Good stuff, cheap.
So
There you
this
go.
makes sense, though.
Okay.
The market is expecting for consumers to try to save money, especially with tariffs. These are the type of companies they're going to, right? Walmart, Big Lots.
That's the Mexico. Look at that ticker symbol, WMMVF. What the flying flip is
Walmart
that?
de Mexico?
Yeah.
Well, the Mexican one's popping. It's up almost 2%
I was
today.
finna say something. I'm going to get canceled if I do.
Yeah,
So I'm not
probably.
saying- yeah.
Don't say it.
I'm not saying it.
Don't say it. But look, the defense stuff, utilities, gold down today, right? Not too surprised by that. But look, here's insurance just keeps rocking and rolling. I like insurance. I've done a couple insurance videos since the holidays.
So, Kathy, Ryan and I were just talking about that. I think that people are moving away
From the
the
defensive.
safe haven defensive stocks. If the market's going to show legs to move to the upside, we're going to start looking at growth stocks or stocks that can make, there's the VVC. I'm just saying that I think that is the move right now in regards to gold stocks. The defensive plays are not going to be as defensive if the market starts to move up. And Ryan put on the Qs and the VVC to give it an idea of where we are. Look at
We
that.
broke right above
Yep.
that trend line, but look, giving it up today. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not, if you want to take some profit, if it's you're up a lot in your gold trades, hey, protect those profits. But do I think gold is over? Until I get some real good feeling about this tariff and all the trade war and stuff.
Do you have a feeling
I'm not feeling warm and fuzzy about the situation.
that today's going to be a good day? Today's going to be a good
Look,
day.
getting resistance, some indecision right at that trend line. So we'll see how it plays out, but I wouldn't be surprised as long as price action stays above this trend line that we see an unwind of gold, utility, things like that, and a little bit more optimism in some of the other spaces, including tech.
I just think the news cycle has to stay quiet for a little while.
I think no news is good news right now.
I agree with you. on that.
Google has earnings tomorrow, though. That could definitely push the markets.
Clay asked me if we were doing any earnings reports.
This week?
Yeah, Google one might have been a good one, but I got business to do tomorrow. I can't do it. It's
I
up to
don't know if Google
you. I don't know.
will bring the viewers. Not that it's a bad stock.
Okay.
how about
we,
this?
We do talk about this.
Let's do this. We're just entering earnings season. Put in the
There you
symbol
go.
you want the most. If we were going to cover an earnings call after the bell earnings call, put in the symbol that you would want us to cover the most. The NVIDIA is probably at the top of the one.
Well, we're going to definitely do an NVIDIA.
We have been released.
I don't
the
know
last
if we
four
really want to
quarters.
do an Apple.
Apple wasn't too good. I mean, it wasn't horrible.
NVIDIA is going to.
Tesla
No,
was a big
I'm not doing one on XRF. No. I'm telling you, no. Now, with that being said, John, because of the story that I
Time
did
out.
last night on Slate, I am currently in XROF. I bought $3,000 worth of XROF.
Okay.
Stock was up, as I saw today, like over 60%. It was up.
Ooh, UAMY earnings might not
Okay.
be a bad one to
Watch,
consider.
watch,
SMCI,
watch these.
Amazon.
SMCI is probably a good one. Amazon's probably a good one.
Big Lots.
Big Lots, no. 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 Who's going to... Wow, we're going to sign up for
if
the Big Lots?
Lots
No.
happens to be the same afternoon as NVIDIA, we might touch on it.
That's about it.
That's about it. Disney?
Disney? No.
Yeah, Jazz,
no,
you know what?
no.
I can't wait to sit around here and talk about Disney.
No, we're not doing Disney as well. No.
CRS,
I don't know. That may not... But I don't think we're ready to do one this week, John.
YouTube doing more business than all of Disney.
That's probably right.
SoFi is not.
That's not a bad one.
App is also
App
not a bad
loving.
one. Yep.
You keeping your eyes on these?
Yeah, no, I am.
Okay.
So we need a mix between a big cap company and one that just has a lot of presence, you know?
No, we're not doing Disney, Janice.
Spotify could also be
Spotify's
an
another
interesting
good one. I like that. All right.
But yeah, put them in the comments
Not
section.
on new gold
Mara.
right now. I wouldn't do that if gold is not a good play.
Well, Jimbo, you know good and well I would do a crypto-friendly earnings, but
He would.
I
would join you, but
no, you know what? You don't have to come.
I would
the
just do it.
naysayers don't have to come, right?
Then I'm
Jimbo?
not coming. Then I'm not. You go do it. I'm not doing it.
Ryan, I heard someone saying YouTube doing more sales than all of Disney.
Yeah, I'm not touching.
I'm not
Disney.
surprised. I mean, look at the market cap. I mean, YouTube.
Not only that, look at all of the public.
If you're not on Netflix, you're probably on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
That if you are not on Netflix, you are probably on YouTube. Oh, Jen, XRP got an ETF. It's called XXRP. It's not in the VectorVest 7 software. Actually, I got to message Angie about that. I'll try to remember that.
All right.
It just came out like 2 days ago, so she might already be planning to put it in the software, but if not, I'll try to get in there. And then Solana came out with the ETF.
How many likes do we have? 44. I'm letting you know ahead of time before we get to look at your
That's 4 stocks.
That's only 4 stocks.
You better be quick with it.
I'm giving
in the comment section.
No, we're not doing Disney. We're not doing Disney. It is a public relations still disaster. I don't want to touch it. All right. As we look at all of the indices are up today. Everything is up at least 1% to include the VectorVest composite. The biggest mover is the NASDAQ tech stocks. Tech stocks coming back. All right, big movers. I didn't do that today. Dang, I cannot read this. You know something? Let's just go to the picks. I can't read any of that stuff, Joey. I really can't.
We've got Contras.
No, I don't want to.
Current hot industry.
I didn't do anything for that.
Customer picks last week. Let's see how they did. While we're going down the list.
Did I put? We did. Put
Did you do
something.
AMA big movers?
No, I didn't.
No. Okay.
So whatever's in there.
Let's
is
see how
old.
they did last week, and then we'll go to our picks this week. Let's see here.
Go ahead. Fool around and find out. You're only going to get 5 stocks. All right? What did you get last week? 5 stocks. What did you get last week?
170 people. Should at least
Look
be
at
100
that.
likes. Ooh,
They
very
killed it.
nice. Let's see here. The winner,
I can't read
Robin Hood, or no, is that Restoration Home?
Restoration.
Yep.
Yeah.
Restoration Hardware. VRT Vertiv.
Look
up
at
10%,
them.
CRDO. Vertiv, I that was an honorable mention. I mentioned in the live stream for Power Hour earlier today. And again, next week, Power Hour is not going to be on Wednesday. It's going to be Thursday, live, North Carolina. Check it out. But look at that. Overall, 6.5%. Even the VectorVest composite.
Look at them.
Just shy of 2.5.
I bet you they did better than we did.
Speak for yourself.
All right. Glenn's picked last week.
I don't know. I forgot what I picked last week.
Let me see what I picked last week. I had antimony. I had gold. Oh, crap. Those are going to get hit. NVIDIA, ASML. I got a couple of tech stocks. Palantir, Boeing.
I think you end up positive. Even in that gold, I mean, last Wednesday, you probably broke even, maybe a little loss.
Let's go see. All right. Went back 1 week. Quick test them all. Watch me get my, 2% down. 2% down. What is that?
Ooh, the USAR. That's
Palantir. USAR killed me.
Gush.
Palantir, Gush. Akshaya said that I said in my video to go buy oil. I was like, no, I didn't. To go buy Gush, I was like, no, I didn't. I looked at the graph of it. Let's go look at it again. Gush. Go view the stock graph on Gush. Oh, I didn't want that.
Buy point 1901.
I gave a price. Look at that.
Does it hit its buy point yet?
I can't see what that
Doesn't
price
look
is.
like it. That's 1827.
There you
So,
go.
it's
So
not
in the
hit its buy
video,
point yet.
Akshaya, you said, no, you said to buy it. In the video, I gave a buy point.
He even gave. He still got the note there.
I gave a buy point, and Akshaya was beating me down. Saying,
if it was last week, it would have been about right here. So yeah, we would not have gotten that buy point. It looks
so
like
I was
here.
like,
until well, actually, yeah, the high today was 1925.
All right, fine. So if it hit, now it hit, and then you manage it. Most likely, I would have had a 10% trail stop on it. But I gave it in the video. In the video, I gave a buy point. And Akshaya was like, Glenn, you said to go buy Gush. I was like, no, I didn't.
Pedro says, yes, you did.
Yes, I did give a buy point.
1901. And it did qualify for that buy point. But again, it got the buy point, but just not followed through.
So Akshaya says, so buy now. Wait a minute. Do you not know what we talk about on here? Trade the chart. Trade the chart.
It's still in the uptrend. It's still in a clear uptrend right now.
It is. So you know something? Would I be mad at you if you bought it? Nope. It is in the.
And honestly, if you did buy it right now with that trend line, it'd be a pretty tight stop.
I don't disagree.
If you're willing to take that risk for a pretty tight stop.
But the answer is right there. You know how Ryan and I both trade, right?
I like oil because we're getting closer to summer. We're starting to see some optimism in the global trade because the recession fears puts downward pressure on oil.
Do you still think we get a recession? I think too many things have to come into place. I think theoretically maybe, but I don't know. And I'm with you.
But if we do get a recession, as of right now, with information in hand, I think it's going to be because again we had a recession 2 years ago when GDP dropped. Was it 2-3 years ago when GDP dropped?
And then it got reclassified.
And then it got reclassified. So I think we might get the old definition of a recession. I don't think we're going to get the new, huge unemployment and all that stuff. But if that's with information as of now, if this trade thing gets out of hand and escalates further downhill, we could easily.
I want to know who does benefit Drill Baby Drill. We do. We bring
the U.S. consumer.
Where is a lot of the inflation come from? Oil, high oil prices, right?
Energy, but nowadays I would say housing. Housing is probably the biggest inflation problem.
Bringing oil prices down probably is a benefit. We're a benefit. Thank you, Pedro, for backing me up, man. Thank you very much for backing me up.
Akshaya says energy. I would say energy, but the bigger problem is just the cost of housing.
I don't disagree with him. I don't disagree with him.
Because as long as cost of housing keeps going up, you're going to have to keep paying your employees more. And now housing is getting out of touch with the trend in pay. So that's why you're seeing more of a renter nation than a homeowner nation.
That is a true problem, is that
because the
our
power
pay is not going up with inflation.
The power of home ownership is what built the middle class.
Having the ability, because that's money that they could grow on when they go in.
And now a lot of people, younger generation, even myself included, have been kind of priced out of that. North Carolina, to afford the average home in North Carolina, you have to make over $100,000 a year. So unless you're a two-person income or two-person household, you have to be making, I think it was like 112, 114.
I got nothing to say about that because I'm not trying to start nothing. But
I'm just saying.
Okay.
But that's a problem though in the long run.
For who?
For people trying to buy a house.
Oh, okay. Anyway, my stock picks this week, instead of buying, if Elon is going to get back home to Tesla, I'm bullish on Tesla. I'm going to take, and it is a 2-time leverage, bullish. I'm liking Tesla, TSLL. Interesting about Rigetti and IONQ, we've all both said that quantum is a trade, but when there's news that's pushing it, something to keep your eyes on. These are two.
You see this comment, Akshaya? Trade the chart is the old rule. New rule, trade the tweet.
That's funny. I'm not gonna laugh. I am gonna laugh because that's funny.
That's a good one.
Trade the tweet. It's still trade the chart. It's still trade the chart. Sooner or later, the housing bubble will burst. I don't disagree with that as well.
And if it does burst, I'm of the opinion that the government should not interfere with it.
Yeah, but they will.
Let it burst.
No,
they will. And guess what?
Will.
Pushes the problem down further.
Yep. It's called kicking the can.
Yep.
All right. Those are mine.
If you took out a loan for a house and it flipped upside down, that is on you.
Same thing. If you took out a loan to go to school, pay it back.
Exactly.
That's all I got to say about that. All right.
Except housing you can default on in bankruptcy.
You can default on your school loan too.
You cannot in bankruptcy court. The laws are different. Yeah, you can't. It's a federal loan. So that's. Don't get me started on that. I think it's a. I won't even talk about. We're on.
All right, we might talk about that at the meet and greet.
Yeah, we're talking about meet and greet.
Okay, boy, because I'll argue. I will argue with you.
I love to argue with you too.
I'll argue with you. All right, last week.
But the rules should be the same for lending across the board.
Why? It's different things. Different lending, different things. Okay.
Beg to differ.
Anyway, no, you're different wrong. I love you, bro. Right?
I do too. Look, they will.
You were big on gold. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just looking at the comments here. BlackRock, they did 2008. We couldn't do it, but BlackRock did. I heard NVIDIA. Oh yes, I did hear that as well. This is big news. NVIDIA putting GPUs in the USA. AMD as well. The plant in Arizona. This is the first time that these two companies' chips are being produced on U.S.
Everything
soil.
is going to Arizona. You know, my kid works for ASML.
Yeah. It's Arizona, Texas, Ohio, not really, but then Oregon. Those are like the main semi-hubs.
Yeah. Like that. All right.
These are my picks. We got Harmony
from last week.
NVIDIA. Oh, I do have Bitcoin there. So
I think those are the only two that worked out for you.
No,
I told you.
There we go. I did better than you, I think.
Did you?
Look at it, less than 1%.
Whatever.
And big winners, Bitcoin.
You still big on Bitcoin right now?
I'm still big on Bitcoin. I think because, and the reason why I'm big on Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. I know there's no tangible value there. But the fact that it was less volatile than the Mag 7 of the last 3 months, less downward pressure, that, for me, saying that it's now maturing potentially as an asset class. And you're like, oh,
you know what I heard?
That's crypto.
That's what I heard. All right. But they were your big winners going into this week. Your picks for this week are... Drum roll, please.
Anonymity, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla.
You do have Tesla. We both have Tesla,
and
we both do have a quantum play. You don't have a crypto play this week though.
No.
Do you want to put one?
Oh, yeah, I put BTC in there. Yeah, for sure. Actually, you know what?
I'm allowing you to do that now. You know that?
What is it?
Because you don't have a story on
it. Where is? Oh, there. SOLT, which is the new Solana ETF. It's double leverage.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do BTC. And again, if you like XRP, I'm not an XRP fan.
Do we have XRP?
We don't have it in the software. It was just started yesterday, so hopefully be there today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
XRP is the ETF name.
I do like your Tempest play. That's a stock, and I want to look at the graph. We did look at it in the Jockey Club as an early play.
Just getting into the fast lane.
Look at that. I do like
strong volume.
Look at the volume.
Too.
That's not a bad play. Last time it did that, look at the nice run it had. All right, it could be setting up for that again. I do like that play. I think that's the only play of yours that I like. All the other ones, I don't like at all.
Yeah, that Tesla play sucks too. Just kidding. You have Tesla.
I know. I should have said that.
I know.
I'm thinking Tesla might.
You always give me a hard time when I
let the chart come to you. You know.
The chart. Look, the chart's finally coming to you. It's breaking that downward trend line.
Not only that, what does that say? Oh, so that's how I got my 440 price, right? Look at that.
What did you do? Some symmetrical analysis?
I don't know, something like that. I looked at, this is the flagpole, this was the flag. All right, the difference between the two was that I think that Tesla, I gave a price target based on the technicals, based on the technicals of about 440.
Jazz, yes, SOL is risky. Bitcoin is probably your safest crypto play, followed by Ethereum.
All right, let's go.
But Solana, I think, is in the top 5 market cap. It should be.
Where's the customer plays this week? I don't know what's in there. Empty that. I don't want that.
Empty it. All right, let's get some stock picks. How many likes?
64. Let's give him 7.
7?
Let's give him 7.
1 for good luck. 7's a better luck number anyways.
All right, here we go. Here you go. Hurry up.
AMDL.
Ooh, the ETF.
CANG.
What the heck is that?
I don't know, but I like something. I don't know what it is.
There we go. Go ahead.
APH. Root.
ROOT.
Oh, and Ozark. OZK.
I haven't seen that in OZK.
Yeah.
That's the OZK. Okay.
We've got Qubit.
That's another good play, possibly.
And then Amex.
AM.
And that should be the 7. EX.
Thank you. Is that set?
Sound it out.
I mean, we ain't got it.
Hold up. Amex?
Amex. Oh, it's what is Amex?
Oh, let me click on this for you. There you go.
American Express.
Mhm.
There it is. Is that right? That doesn't seem right. That's American Enterprise. Where's American Express? I think it's AXP. All right, there we go. Glenn won't be Kang, but Ryan will.
Won't like Kang.
All right, so here's your 7 picks.
Kango Inc. What is Kango Inc?
I don't know.
If you don't know what a stock is,
There
this
you
is a
go.
good lesson here. Always right-click on it. Just go to View Full Stock Analysis Report.
Let's go see what
We'll
that
drag this bad boy over. We got Kango is an automotive transaction service platform in China, connecting car buyers, dealers, financial institutions, and other industry participants. It leverages technological innovation and big data to establish an automotive supply chain ecosystem,
Interesting.
offering matrix of products and services centering on used and car trading and exporting.
So it's like an all-inclusive spot to buy cars in China?
That's what it looks like. Look,
That's what it looks
connecting
like.
car buyers, dealers, and financial institutions. Interesting.
So to find a car, to buy a car, and to finance the car.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Okay. And the supply chain ecosystem. Okay, interesting. I bet that company, becomes a little bit more important if these trade wars do not resolve, if it's helping out its own supply chain ecosystem.
Let's go see what
John says Chinese stocks, what can go wrong? A lot.
Everything.
Can go wrong. I know there's talk about potential delisting of Chinese companies.
I heard
Technically,
it
that money is
because-
going to the CCP.
Yes,
and the
because it's
military.
going to the defense. So I'm okay
Do I
with
disagree
that.
with that?
I don't disagree with
No, I
that.
don't think at all.
All right.
Especially,
So
if
out
that's
of
the
the,
route we're choosing, then we
out
gotta
of the
stick with
stocks
it.
that we got up here, which ones have the best upside potential? Kango. That's got the highest RV in there at 1.5. The worst, of course, is the Quantum.
It's still undervalued too. About
That-
$2
That
undervalued.
may not be, and it's cheap.
Yeah, $4.
Alright.
Yeah, if you got a small account, want something to, take a good nibble at, that might not be bad. The
It's
safety.
in an uptrend. Look at that. It's a buy.
It's not the safe. It's not the most dangerous stock,
This
but
makes
it's
it more
not
aggressive.
very safe. Yeah,
RV
it's
above 1, RS below 1. Makes it more aggressive.
that is aggressive trade.
All right, let's go graph all of them. See if I would. Ooh.
Just got into the fast lane
I like
for a new
that.
sign of optimism. DPOs in positive territory. I'd like to see the volume go up a little bit more, just because the volume kind of dropped going into the fast lane. Maybe look for confirmation, but we're seeing that with a lot of companies today. Lower than the open.
How about something that both he and I like? The 3 and the 8 exponentials, undervalued.
There's not many things that we both like.
That's true. RT just went above 1. This may not be a bad play. All right, I'm gonna keep my eyes on that. That was who gave us that? Troy, I like that play. And I cannot lie.
Oh, Kang is going into crypto mining.
Oh crap!
Oh.
I don't like
There
it.
it
I don't like it.
goes.
Now it's trash.
Now it's trash.
All right.
Well, that makes
Next
sense. It's a
one.
financial credit services company.
American Express, undervalued. Value. I'd like to see it rise
This-
a little bit more.
Actually, not a bad bottom fishing opportunity
Okay.
if you're thinking bottom fishing, but hey, I've got enough tech stocks. Let me look at something else. This might actually be something. You got rising earnings, RT.
Not above 1 yet.
Not above 1 for the more conservative approach. Obviously, let that go above 1. But hey, you could just draw a simple trend line here. As long as price action 3 stays above the 8, above that trend
3
line.
just crossed.
Ride it out. Yeah, look, what was that? As of today, looks like.
Yep.
Yeah, as
3
of today.
just crossed.
Nice.
Little
fresh
bit
trade
of
setup.
indecision today, but watch the wick at the top of the candle. There's a lot of selling pressure. Just watch it. I do like the technicals though. Next one, Ozark. Nice
A
move.
lot of stocks showing that upper wick today, showing the full filled-in candlestick. So, again, the price lower than the open. A lot of momentum waning already. One thing I don't like here, value on the decline. Price action on the decline the whole time, right? So I'm not going to get too warm and fuzzy about it. I think there's probably better banks, maybe foreign banks showing a little bit more optimism. But I do like the rising earnings. If you are thinking about getting in this,
What about that?
so, and look, RT, so
Rising.
close. Where is it at? RT at 0.9.
It's almost there.
I would say take out this upper wick, just get confirmation. And by the time we take that out, RT
Or should be above 1.
Should be or close to above 1, just giving us a little bit more confirmation there, a little bit more bullish sentiment. I do like that one. APH?
No.
Not at all. Downward trend, way overvalued. Does have rising earnings. RT shot up.
That's
but look,
put earnings on there.
giving it all away.
Put earnings on there. See if that's an earning. Nope, it's over here.
Oh.
See if this is earnings. It is. That's profit taking. That's profit. Nice gap up. Went up. That's beautiful. But that's profit taking.
That's all the people who bought back here.
Yep, trying to get
wasted
a little bit
all their time and energy and said, nope, let me just get my money back and run. I'd wait for it. I'm not jumping in with that big of a gap.
It's going to chase. It's going to test this level of support, which was the most recent swing high right there. Yes?
Yeah. I believe that to be a very high potential scenario.
Look at that. Beautiful level of support. Beautiful level of resistance, and it just broke above resistance because of possibly good earnings. I'm not feeling that. All right, next one. Go ahead. You go. You start. I'm putting that on you.
I'll put it like this. AMD has been in a descending channel for a while. NVIDIA has been in a descending channel. I've talked back in December, if you watch my Thursday videos, you'll know that I always did semiconductor videos. I did it since pretty much I got this position almost 2 years ago, but I stopped that in December, right? Because of interest rates. They're rising, right? These are growth companies. They don't do well with rising interest rates in general. But also, the industry is cyclical in nature. I mean, I've looked at charts of Micron, NVIDIA, AMD, ASML. This isn't a 2-month pullback or 3 month. This has been a pullback for a while now. So, yeah, do I think, if you take some nibbles at AMD, less than 90, yeah, in the long run it's probably going to work out. NVIDIA less than 100, yeah, probably in the long run it's going to work out. But right now you're probably just going to put a lot of pressure on yourself and a lot of unneeded stress if you just wait for the trade to come back. Ryan, the monthly chart on AMD will turn. I'm planning on buying leaps out into 227.
I'm not against any of the tech stocks long term.
No.
I'm not against any of AI is still a prevalent player in the game. And I'm not
and this is one of the biggest things that I see because, you remember when Warren Buffett bought in TSM? Remember that? He sold because of Taiwanese-China tensions, right? He said it was too much geopolitical risk. Well, guess what? Both two recent presidential administrations have worked diligently to bring that over. TSM, bringing it over stateside, right? Made in America. That drops that geopolitical risk if these chips are being made on U.S. soil. So I see that as the biggest caveat because think about it. If China would have invaded Taiwan a year ago, NVIDIA, AMD, they wouldn't be manufacturing.
Nope.
Taiwan would have been bombed. It would have been a nightmare. So the more we get this
just
over to
tell
the US,
China, fool around, find out. Hey, you think you can go over there and just go take? They're gonna put me in. I'm just gonna go over there all by myself, fool around, and find out. You ain't been up against Marine Corps Glenn yet.
Yeah, John, that's another thing. So John says when stocks like AMD are in the tank, you can buy leaps and then sell calls in shorter duration to cover the cost. It's a poor man's covered call.
Yep.
But yeah, if you're going to buy AMD, the leap strategy, selling calls again, that's poor man's covered. Not a bad way to do it.
But you're long-term bullish on the play.
Otherwise, if you're getting into AMD, at least, I would want to get any tech stock. I'd want to at least get 100 shares and just write calls against it in this volatility. And if the market doesn't go up or these semiconductors just lay flat for the next while, all of these calls that you've collected in premiums lower your dollar cost average for the long game.
I don't disagree either. Glenn, what did you buy today? I ain't buy nothing yet. Did we get to that point yet? Root. I am Root. You knew that had to be coming, right?
That's hilarious. You know it's Groot, right?
I know it's Groot.
Okay,
I know it's Groot.
I don't know if you
do. What you think about this? The 3D is crossed. Put it on the one.
I like it. Look, 1, 2, 3 touches. Nice, strong level of support of this trend line. Other than it being overvalued, that's my only concern. But for this, I'm not looking at it as an investment.
Earnings per share is getting less bad.
Earnings per share, yeah. It's actually at 0 now.
Yeah.
It's right at 0. So it was.
It was worse.
Yeah, negative $3. So I do like that, actually.
You know what that means? That means upper management is doing something right to turn the company around. Mm-hmm. That's a management move. When earnings per share, and this is forecasting, when you see earnings per share get better over a 3-month or a quarter, that's upper management doing things, whether they're laying off people, they're working more efficiently. That's a sign of good management. That is definitely a sign of good management. And the 3 and the 8 cross yesterday.
I like everything I see. The only thing I do see, you might see a little rejection of, well, actually, it
broke through it.
Yeah, that maybe potential retest on this as a level support. Don't freak out if it rolls over. Retest this. Look for the pivot back to the upside. Otherwise, fresh buy. Technicals, I like the company.
I'd like to see more volume, though.
The volume is waning.
You know something? Zoom this in, put this on Datelines, take this out. See if that makes a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There it is.
You can see the volume waning. Look at that divergence, clear divergence. You see volume down, price action up. So be careful of that. See how it does on the retest. If it survives that retest, a nice pivot, you might have a good run there. Here we've got Qubits. Qubits breaking the downward trend line, but again, a lot of levels of resistance. The stock's still overvalued.
RT is below 1. Earnings per... This is still a trade. Oh, yeah. It's still... I'm not taking... I wouldn't touch it today.
No.
I wouldn't touch it.
I don't have enough. I do like the pickup in the volume.
Right.
But this is a speculative play. Unless you're an active trader, disciplined.
Trade the graph. Trade the chart.
Trade the chart.
Not the tweet. Trade the chart. Not your heart.
I'm just curious, what is... That's it. Yeah, that's the long-term trend line. I don't know where you bought during all this quantum craziness.
It looks like crypto.
But as long as price actions...
Quantum, crypto, they sound alike.
They do sound alike.
They do sound alike.
But as long as this stock stays above this trend line for the long term here, hey, why not? Ride it out, right?
If it breaks
below it,
long term on it,
then re-examine that position.
I just would not want to give all of this up.
Exactly.
And I would not want to give all of this up. All right. That's all the stocks. Where are we at? 301. Look at that. All right.
That's rare. I do have the daily color guard today.
Hold on. We're gonna open this back up because
I tried to do it yesterday. I had some technical issues.
Glenn's picks. I am going to. If you didn't watch the story yesterday, you need to. I am going to add XROF to my list. All right. I'm adding XROF to my list. Is that Mark? I don't even know if that was Mark or not. What is that? Somebody put something about XROF.
Glenn, you should not have bought XROF. Look what you did to it.
All right, so I am going to put XROF in the list because I'm going to see what stocks I want to add.
Lulu says AMDL chart looks like XROF pennies. Wow. The big downward trend.
Yep. All right, let's go see what's going up. Number 1. Number 2, let me see if there's any stocks, and then Ryan's going to do the same thing. See if there's any stocks that he wants to add to his portfolio. View the stock graph. I think I'm taking Tesla. Well, trade the chart, not my heart. What does my heart say? What is my
No, it's supposed to say, what's the chart say, not your heart.
The 3 did go above the 1. Let's put this on a 1 month. Wow, it's right there. It's right there. Rising volume. It's right there. It didn't give me the crossover, though. Rigetti. I do like the move up on RT. I do like the rise in volume. I got a level of resistance right here at the high. Let's see if there's anything that really stands out to me. Boeing, maybe, but right at resistance as well. That broke through resistance. RT is close. What's RT at, Ryan? 0.78? But the 3 did cross above the 8, and it went above a trend, a resistance level. But I got indecision going on. Wow! Look at that XROF. Woo! Look at all of that. When I did the video,
up 60.
That's when I did the video. It was up. But that was
it hit my level of resistance right at 14 cents. I had it.
It was.
If you guys watched Power Hour today, I had a couple lines at 14 cents, and obviously
look at the volume is there. That's a lot of people taking profits off the table. I own it. I do own it. I owned it since yesterday. Holy smokes. Whew. I'm not adding to my portfolio today.
Sure you don't want to add that one?
And actually looking at all of these stocks, there was nothing that made me feel really warm and fuzzy. I'm not adding any stocks. Where am I at portfolio-wise? My portfolios, AMA, 2025, AM, Sugarfoot, AMA Glen, where am I at? Down 4 points, up a quarter.
Look at you at TSM.
I think that's the only one. I'm not. There was nothing in here that I saw that I wanted to add. There was nothing in here that I saw that I wanted to add. Now Ryan will do the same thing to his portfolio.
Here, I got you.
All right, Ryan will do the same thing. I didn't find anything that I wanted, so I didn't buy anything. Look at you, down 8%.
I still got Costco, still got Walmart.
How you trading there, buddy?
I'm doing all right, bud.
I didn't see anything that I wanted.
I'm going to take, let me look at these graphs.
Trade the chart.
Not your heart.
Not your heart.
I like
that's not
antimony.
bad.
I like antimony.
That's not bad.
That's getting rejection. No, not there on that one. Meta, no. Microsoft, ooh, that's kind of close. Still overvalued. I like the Bitcoin. The breakout.
So UAMY and Bitcoin.
Tesla.
I almost took the TSLL, but
I like Tempest. You know,
so that's 3.
we're getting follow through. The DEW looks like it's going to go out. I'm going to take a little nibble here. We get Tempest, a little Tesla. I just did single leverage. I'm not double leveraging.
Okay.
Got a little U.S. antimony. Let's go to add to portfolio. Ryan, 2025. You got a lot of portfolios.
There's a lot of portfolios.
Next.
So Ryan added to his portfolio. I did not add to my portfolio.
We're just going to do 2,000 each. Just a little nibble. So I still got 45,000, 41,000 in cash. I've got 2 defensive plays, Costco and Walmart right now, rare earth, AI, Tesla, and a Bitcoin.
I think
so that's well balanced between tech.
Hit the okay. I might take TSLL.
No, you said no.
Well, shut up.
You said no. It's over. That's it, guys. We're out of here. 3:06. Wrap it up, Joey. See, just get like a Joe. You had your chance.
Go to another portfolio. Just click on it and then click back on it.
Here you go. You want to add something? See, if you buy it now, I know it's going to go down. I'm gonna have to go sell it real quick.
Go back to yours. It should have your stocks in there.
So you got TSM.
There you go.
I think you got TSM at a good price here. Let's see where am I at with Walmart.
What's your ROIs? You're not up a lot, but
1%,
Walmart is the 6%.
6%. Okay, I'll keep those. Look, these are already making me money. Good.
That's right.
Here. Just sitting here making money.
Yeah, I didn't buy any.
You gonna buy anything?
No, I'm gonna.
The only reason why I think I took a nibble today is really the potential of that DEW going up today, and we got our second green light in a row. It looks like obviously anything can happen in the last hour of the market, but it looks like we will end out with some optimism. That's why I'm tiptoeing in. As you can tell, most of my portfolio I'm still in cash here. Obviously, hasn't been the greatest first of the year. But we'll see how it works out.
I think Intel will be helped by the layoffs because it'll make them more efficient and it'll help the bottom line. I think that's what's going to help.
15% trail. I'll take it.
So that's what I think when it comes down to Intel. If you follow me on Twitter, I tweeted that out today about the 20%. That's a big portion of 21,000 people they're laying off. 21,000 people. All right, now I'm just hoping I don't lose my job at Intel. I hope you don't either, man.
I don't either.
I hope not either. All right, we got to go.
Let's do it. Just a heads up. Next week.
Thursday.
We'll be live next Thursday. Power Hour Trending Thursday, live, Charlotte, North Carolina. DW still not green.
It might be today.
It won't update till after,
right?
The market, yeah. So you won't see the DW, but as long as the VectorVest composite's above that 30-day weighted moving average, we should, be getting that signal. Other than that, Monday, keep an eye out. Definitely check in. We've got the Simonier coming, right? Yep. Talk about Jarvis Vineyards. It's a really cool vineyard. Did you see the photos of it with the cave and the waterfalls?
How about yes? I did. I watched it. Okay, keep
Did
going.
you see the video?
Yeah, I saw the video. I don't usually look at his videos, but I did watch that one.
It'll save you a headache, right? save yourself the headache. All right, everybody. You mean to sign out this one?
Yes.
All right, everybody have a wonderful, joyous day. Hopefully we don't get the pump fake today. Again, next week, I can't stress this enough, VIP experience, rooftop experience. It's going to be a lot of fun. We want to have fun with you guys, so come check it out. Even if you don't want to do VIP, I get it. It's free during the day.
Yep.
And we're going to be there from like 11:30 till 4:30. You get 2 live streams, a private presentation, and you get to check out Charlotte. It's beautiful.
And you want to know what's on our minds about for real? Come talk to us.
Come talk to us. And then we can
All I'm
give you
looking
the
for
off
is
the camera
I need
opinions.
an old-fashioned. The more old-fashions, the more opinions. The more old-fashions, the more I'd start to talking.
Oh,
All right, so I'm just putting that up there.
TEM on the VV software is a sell, is it?
But it's But
Oh,
it's
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
but
rise.
yeah, it's
on
a
the
bottom
rise.
fishing opportunity
It
here.
is.
And let's just see here.
aggressive play.
Are we getting any kind of? We're not getting a blast off day by any means. That's why I didn't load up too much on positions, and still I've got some defensive plays there. The rare earth as well. But the follow through here that we're seeing today, and we might get the DW up signal, but we shall see.
Mark is getting all antsy. Mark says, "Learn the word before you meet the sommelier."
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, Mark. Have you created a spot for us to come out here, Mark? I know you were 50-50. You need to make it more 90-10 for you to come. But I know business is business, so sommelier. Marvin said it's a sommelier. Wow, that's messed up.
That's actually a good one. I like that. All right, we got to run because I got Daily Color Guard report. Everybody have a wonderful evening, wonderful afternoon. Tomorrow, no live stream. Friday, check out the mobile app, mobile stream, 12 noon. Check it out. Hopefully we'll get that DEW. But on that note, we are out of here. Enjoy your evening.
See ya. Hey, VV Nation, I'm Glenn.
And I'm Ryan. We've got a special event coming next month, May 1st. We're finally hitting the road. Now, we will be hosting some live streams. Tell them a little bit about the live streams we'll be doing.
We're going to have the Stock Analysis Power Hour. Ryan will host that. Bring your stocks. Let Ryan break them down for you. I'll also do a live stream called Trending Thursday. That's where we go through, look at what's going on in the market, what's going on in the news, and we analyze stocks. We also have a live presentation for those people who will be attending live as well. What's that, Ryan?
Now, we do have the presentation titled Unlocking the Secrets of Financial Success. Now, to register for free and get the details, just go to VectorVest.com/roadshow.